Hello and welcome to the Portrait Guy podcast with me, Guy Lloyd. This is a podcast recorded in front of a live audience where myself and a very special guest will chat whilst painting each other's portrait. About halfway through, we'll do a self-portrait, and at the end of the year, we'll auction those off for charity. In this episode, I chat to musician and lead singer of the Hoosiers, Irwin Sparkes. Welcome, Irwin Sparkes.
Thank you.
I know I've asked you this before, but that's your actual name, isn't it?
Born with it, yes.
No, you're not, because it feels like it feels like you were maybe a Dave or something, and you became a pop star, and then you thought, I need a pop star name. Irwin Sparkes sounds like a real pop star name, but you were born to be a pop star.
Yeah,
clearly.
Well, I don't know about that, but it's just maybe it's like a negative nominative determinism type situation, because then you think, I'm still not living up to the name. The name's the best bit.
I can't be a plumber sort of thing. You've got to be, with a name like that, you have to be
You have to try.
Or electrician, yes.
That would be...
That would make more sense.
Oh, I've wasted my life. Where were you 32 years ago?
There's still time. But yes, it's an actual name. It's a great name.
Legit.
Yeah, legit name. So, I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Yeah, no, clear the air.
We're going
Good to do. Do you want to...
We're going to crack on with the art. So we are going to do a portrait of each other. So there's a little mug in front of you. If you can just dip your hand in there and choose the medium, and then we'll know what it is.
Oh, I got two. I'm going to put you back and go
Pick the best one.
Pencil.
Oh, classic pencil.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm all right with pencil. How are you with pencil?
I've penciled.
How are you with art?
Oh, not so good.
Really?
Not so good, no.
I think I just naturally assume that any sort of... Obviously, all my guests are like creatives, or comedians or musicians. I naturally assume that they're quite good at art.
No, it's a huge pressure we creatives bear. And, if, like me, art is not your bag, it's an intolerable burden, Guy. It really is. And as you're about to find out, my burden's about to be shared.
Okay. So was it a subject at school that you weren't too keen on?
I actually quite liked the teacher, but I just wasn't natural. I wasn't good at it. But I was doing I remember I draw guitars, and I've still got a giant clay Stratocaster in my shed now. Where
really?
I try and make music. And
not what, to size?
Not to size, but it's still hefty. You could definitely take out the human being with it.
Okay.
If they wronged you, but it's rubbish, and it bears no real resemblance to a musical instrument. It's appalling, and it's not really that hard. It's a guitar. Come on.
Okay.
What do I do? Take my pick? Are they all the same?
They're all different strengths.
Geez,
Okay, so is that the right words? So you've got HBs, and then you've got your 2Bs. So.
Great. Yeah. Oh, middle. Oh no, I've already got it wrong, have I? Good. Hang on, how many have you got?
Don't get competitive already.
Well,
I've got about 10 here. How many have you got? You got about 10.
Okay, so I can use them all.
Oh, no, that's yours. Sorry, I didn't explain that. You've got a whole one set to yourself. Because sometimes we have to share, but with this, we've got one each.
Excellent, thank you.
So, yeah.
I'm just impressed by the budget, to be honest.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a huge budget. So what was your favourite subject at school? Were you into music at school from an early age? Was that your thing?
No, I feel like I was one of the worst musicians I knew of at the time. It just brought me so much joy to make noise with my friends in a room. And then I decided at some point around 15, 16, I wanted to inflict that on other people more than anything else. But it wasn't because I was especially good. There were some people there who were grade 8 at seemingly everything. And so I never thought I'd actually be good enough to play. And the truth of it, and I mean this, I'm not fishing, but I'm not good enough to play. But that's the beauty of pop music. I think it's a bit of a leveler, because it's just about your best instrument. Really, it's your ear, how you're able to choose what note goes where. Music, songwriting, it's just decision making. And that's the fun bit.
But you're You play guitar.
Yeah.
Do you play anything else?
I play keyboards badly.
Okay.
But I had lots of lessons growing up, and I was terrible.
But your voice is incredible.
Thanks.
I think you've got an amazing singing voice. So can you remember a point where you thought, wow, I can sing? Or were people telling you around you didn't believe it? Or how did that voice of an angel come to fruition?
Okay.
At what age were you feeling, oh, wow?
I remember, well, it was probably the time I was struck by lightning, I have to say. I wish it started like that. Sadly, it doesn't. We went through 16 vocalists, and we ran out of people we knew that sang. And this was in our first band at school, still with my partner in musical crime, Al, who is the Hoosiers drummer. And so he was in my first ever band. But we went through everyone that we knew, and there was no one left. And so I did it. But the thing is, I always thought I could sing until we did our first gig. And then the keyboardist's dad told me in no uncertain terms that I could not sing, and that was like the worst thing about the show. And I was like, but there must be some mistake. I remembered saying to him, but I was singing. And he's like, I know. It's like the words wouldn't go in. And I listened back, and he was right. You know, he may have been a little bit harsh, but I wasn't natural, and it took me like probably till I was early 20s before I realized as well I had a really high voice, and I could go falsetto and use that upper register. And that honestly, it just took probably, 20,000 hours. And so now I can hear when I'm in tune and out. But, you know, I'm in awe of, I'll never be Peter Gabriel, you know, he's like tones like that. No, but I've got a high register, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Yeah, and I love that about your voice. And I think when I first came across the Hoosiers, and I know there's the elements of sort of ELO, and even, dare I say it, a bit of Freddie in there.
Goodness.
The man himself, my hero. Just that sort of, that. I know that's a hell of a comparison, but I think that's what sort of struck me about your voice was like, yeah, that sort of high-pitched thing that I...
Do you know, I think there's...
Have you started?
Well, I feel like I should.
Because we were talking in the restaurant about how it's still quite tricky starting this when you're chatting. And
I know, but that's why I was starting when you were chatting.
And then, I see.
Yeah.
I have to say as well, no offence to Tom Ward, who I desperately tried to become friends with in the episode before last, but I think you're probably the most handsome...
Oh, stop it.
...guest that I've been...
Oh, come on, he doesn't say that to everyone, right?
This is where the flirting starts. My girlfriend's here just keeping an eye on us.
Just to make sure.
Because we should say as well, I should probably sort of say this as well, just to kind of give people here in the audience and people listening, that Irwin and I, we've become friends. In my view, Irwin might have a different take on this, but just to give you a bit of backstory, so when the Hoosiers were all taking off, I was on commercial radio in Brighton, and Juice, yes, and in those days, a lot of bands starting off that were how it worked is record companies would say, we think this band's going to do really well, and we were an independent radio station, so we had no one above us saying, you know, this is what you do. We had free reign. I didn't personally, but my boss was like, we're going to give this a go. For instance, like Duffy. Remember Duffy? We were one of the first radio stations to play Duffy. Rizzle Kicks we more or less discovered in a Great Escape in Brighton. And we're like, we like this band, we're going to play their single, and obviously that they did well. So in a lot of ways, and we didn't always get it right, of course, we took risks, but in a lot of ways, we gave bands airplay if we like the music, if we like the song, as simple as that. And I think that's pretty much what happened with the Hoosiers. I think the record company contacted us and said, we like this band, and I think there was a buzz happening, and then I think we went to the Barfly. I can remember this really vividly, which is no longer there. It's probably student flats now or something. But we went to Barfly, and it was all kicking off for you. There was a buzz. It's like the Hoosiers are coming to town, and we went down there before. I think you'd just done a sound check, and it was you and Al and Martin.
Mm-hmm. Well done.
And me and Andrea, we were doing the breakfast show at the time. And we went down and we just had the time of our lives interviewing these three. You were so warm and funny. And I think we
desperate to be loved.
And desperate to be loved, which we were too. Me and my co-host, we had that in common. But I think we initially connected over, we were wearing loud socks. We were admiring each other's socks. And then we did a lovely interview and got on really well. And then we just, every time you came to town, we just interviewed you and always looked forward to it.
Yeah.
And it was just great fun, and the gig shows were always great. And then we'll get into like the ups and downs of the Hoosiers and your career. But fast forward, Irwin moved down to Brighton with his family around lockdown, wasn't it? Just before,
Exactly, about 5 years.
And we stayed in touch via social media as you do. But Irwin was like, I'm moving to Brighton. So we met. We all spent lockdown walking up and down the beach, thinking, what are we going to do with our lives? Irwin and I met up, and we've been hanging out ever since.
Yeah.
Would you say we're friends?
That was such a... Did everyone else hear that in the voice?
I did.
That tone, that's like...
I did that whole backstory just for some affirmation.
Shut up. And this is the thing, I saw how this went with Tom as well. So he actually warned me. He got in touch.
Did he? So, yeah.
He said, don't feel under any pressure. You're allowed to say no. We went through it. We role-played it extensively. Actually, Tom and I really hit it off, and we're actually going on holiday together. And I didn't know how to tell you, and I said to Tom, I'll break it to you. But sure, Guy, sure. No, of course. How can you not be friends with this guy? Come on.
We recently told each other that we loved each other. I've got WhatsApp proof. Yeah.
You were recording me?
No. I think you sensed it. You went, you love your man, and I went, I love you too.
Oh, yeah, big fan of saying it.
Yeah, but not necessarily meaning it.
I just mean not live. Yeah. You know, always it would demean our special bond. But I didn't know if we were going to come in here and just pretend we didn't know each other. Can we? If we do another one, can we pretend we don't know each other, and then do another one where we hate each other, we're sworn enemies?
Yeah,
something like
I
that.
think I'm up for that.
Spice it up, yeah.
Yeah. It is, isn't it?
Oh, you again.
It'd be great to do a podcast with someone that I really don't get on with, and it's like tense, isn't it? Imagine that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the backstory. That's the backstory.
I concur with all of that, Guy. And also, look, I'm going to give you a little bit of love here too, and I'm not knocking our famous institution of radio that does have a way of training broadcasters to ask really dry, dull, repetitive questions.
Yes.
Because you guys were such a breath of fresh air, and that was part of it. You know, and in a band, you go into a room and you do these ISDN calls where you're just speaking with 50 people. You don't know anyone from Adam, but you get that little connection. When it happens, you're so grateful for it.
Yeah.
Because there's something about the job of being in a band where if you're lucky enough for a song you make to have traction and take off, you suddenly end up on this sort of conveyor belt of spending all your time talking about something you made 2 years ago, and then it's sort of all of the live aspect of playing the music sort of dwindles to about 20% of what you do, and all you're doing is just talking about the thing that you're not actually doing anymore because you're talking about it. So, rather with you than anyone else, Guy.
Oh, bless you. We quickly worked that out because so the ISDN thing. The radio industry changed quite a lot. So initially, when there was a load of money around, tour managers would put bands in the back of their car or whatever and come down and do radio stations, literally tour around the country. Mm. And then as sort of money started to get a bit tight, it was all satellite interviews in London, you know. So say the Hoosiers would be sat somewhere in London, they'd do, as Irwin just said, 50 interviews back to back. So we knew when it came to our bit, our 15 minutes we've got with you or whatever, that we had to sort of stand out and liven up your day a bit. If we just asked so tell us about the new album, you've already answered that 49 times, you know. So we did feel like we have to, and we did that with a lot of artists, but I think we had a special affinity with you guys because you were so silly. And we were a bit silly too, and we just had that connection. It doesn't always work. I once interviewed Mark Ronson, and I was being a bit, and he had a song called The Bike Song. The question was, so he was promoting the single, the bike song, And I said to him, do you know what, Martin? He's like, what's that? And I said, I think this is probably my second favourite song about bikes. It was just a throwaway, silly question. And he suddenly got very serious, was like, well, what's your first? And I said, well, it's got to be Bicycle by Queen, hasn't it, surely? Mm. He's like, so, and are there any other songs about bikes? And I went, no. And he went, so this is the worst song about bikes? And I was like, I mean, if you put it like that, then yeah. I think it was just his sense of humour, but there was a moment I was like, is he joking or is he upset with me?
Was there a follow-up interview?
Yeah, we did have a interview. I think it was just a bit dry, and that was fine. But my point is that we always tried to make interviews a bit more interesting, not just for the band and for us, but obviously the listener. You know, it was just, and we had that freedom, really, on independent radio to kind of do what we want. So that's how we made a connection, and then we became pals. So going back to, now that's confirmed, going back to the Hoosiers, the birth of the Hoosiers, it all sort of came together in America, did it not? Or the seedlings of it. Like you went over to America. Do you not go over to America for a scholarship or something?
We did. I mean...
and was it your chemistry teacher that said, you should go to the States?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes, mostly is the one-word answer. To expand, my chemistry teacher played drums in a band called Sailor that were a thing in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. And they had I think a number one with like a song, Girls, Girls, Girls. Not Motley Crue.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a different time. And a glass of champagne. And he had some great affirming advice to a 15-year-old, which was, listen to Alanis Morissette singing Jagged Little Pill. She's, done a lot of drugs. She's fallen in love. She's been broken and put back together. I'm not suggesting you do any of those things, but it also wouldn't be the worst advice you could take, sort of with a slight nod. And it was that attitude of like, go live, because he was saying that, again, I have to fill you in that we just handed him a demo, quite possibly some of the worst songs committed to cassette. And so he was like, he was trying to help us out as best he could, so he wasn't even really starting with the songs, which were sort of undecipherable.
Yeah.
But he was... and we've still been in touch, actually. I went bird watching with him a few years ago. Bless him.
You went bird watching?
Yeah. I mean, it's what you do when you're retired from music or
do you still
on the
bird
other side
watch?
of the mountain hill. Do I?
Yeah.
I have done, and I will do again.
Oh my God, I think our friendship's just... I used to bird watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go the other way and just throw me under the bus, binoculars and all.
No, that was my main hobby when I was
really, what are you rocking? A pair of Nikons? What's the zoom on them? 8x10s? What are we talking?
I grew up in a very small, quiet village in
Bird-heavy.
Lincolnshire. Bird-heavy village.
What was the density of, man to bird?
I don't know how I got into it, but I think I might have watched...
Oh, it's not how you get into it, guys. There's no way out. That's the problem. You can't get out of it.
There's just no other... there's no other distractions, was there? There wasn't phones or... I just went out, I think.
Simpler times.
My dad had some binoculars, and I went out, and I think I just started spotting birds, and I got... I know. I got very excited, and then I got a book and started getting very excited when I spotted, something rare. And I love, to this day, my girlfriend's in the audience, I get very excited when we're going down the motorway and I see a bird of prey.
Raptors are where it's at,
yeah, and it's
right?
like, what's that? And I'm trying to work out whether it's a sparrowhawk or I know it's a kestrel because it's small and hovers and it flutters. So all these things I remember as a kid. And yeah, no, I still get kind of excited about it.
Do you know, I've still nearly fallen out with my mother, who claimed a peregrine falcon swooped into our back garden and ate a pigeon. And I'm from Reading. And it was almost certainly a sparrowhawk. And she still won't hear it. And it's caused quite the rift, as you can imagine. I mean,
stuff like that splits families, doesn't it?
Yeah, really. And rightly so, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's Because I've often thought the fact that I still get excited about seeing an osprey or whatever it is.
Oh, come on, how can you not?
I think I saw a pied wagtail in Dorset last week, and I got excited about it. It's like, oh look. So yeah, maybe we could hang out and go bird watching.
Maybe this could be a thing. You know, because it's only like 40 minutes away from here, and I've forgotten exactly where, but there's nesting pairs of white-tailed sea eagles. They've introduced the largest bird of prey. I think that is the largest bird of prey.
Where is it? Whereabouts is that?
The white-tailed sea eagle? Go on, what are you clocking? What are you coming in with?
Any of the other eagles.
Oh, okay. The lack of anything to back that up with has emboldened me. I'm going with white-tailed sea eagle for the cost of a pint downstairs.
Also, I didn't
£7.
expect you to get heckled about bird watching tonight. But here we are.
I've had worse.
Going back to us bird watching together, Irwin.
Sorry.
You didn't actually answer that. So maybe we could do a little trip to Scotland. Maybe we could do a trip to Scotland.
I would like that. Maybe
Bird
that could be the
watching.
follow-up. Drawing each other where there's just eagles.
Yes.
Flying. We're not watching them. We're too busy looking at each other's eyes.
So lost in each other's eyes.
What's your favourite bird of prey then, Guy?
It's got to be kestrel.
Really?
Yeah, because I think I watched Kes around the time of my bird watching obsession, and I watched Kes, and it was just the most beautiful film. I haven't seen it for years, but I remember being very moved by it. And like this, if you haven't seen it, it's a classic. It's about a boy's relationship with a kestrel, essentially, and I don't think it ends well. Without spoiler alert. Anyway, it just really affected me, I think, as a youngster, and I love all animals, but I have a particular affinity with birds. And also when we were growing up as kids, we found a racing pigeon at the side of the road that had broken its wing. We took it to a vet, and the vet said, we can't fix this, it's never going to fly again. So your two options is you just let it go off into the wild where it will be killed, or you look after it. So we decided to let it go off in the wild and be killed. And that's the end of that story. No, we took it home, right, thinking we might have it for a year or so. We had it for 12 years.
What?
12 years. And we had to put it in a cage because we had to protect it from foxes and stuff at night. We had a cat at the time and a dog. Turned out when we let the pigeon out to have a run around the garden, it scared the shit out of the cat. It would chase the cat. It was very aggressive.
What did you think would happen, though? Surely you thought you've just sent the bird out there on a death mission.
I mean, it was the 80s, anything went. We thought, we'll let it run. If it still felt, even though it couldn't fly, it still felt a bit cruel to keep it in a cage. So we just let it run around. Okay. And it petrified the cat. And Polly lived for another 12 years with us, which was Polly the pigeon, yeah. So I think that's also probably given me a bit of an affinity with birds.
Yeah.
So
well done. You're good at that. You're really good, because over dinner as well, I'm like left, right, I don't even know where I'm going with it. And you're just, I guess it's sort of your job.
I try.
Maintain an air of professionalism.
It's nice to veer off, but where do we... Yes, so it was the chemistry teacher that said...
Yes.
Was this direct advice to you and Al?
It was. And it percolated, it stuck with us. And then after I'd taken 2 gap years, you take a third gap year, you might as well have just done the degree, right?
Yeah.
And I just thought, to make it look like I'm doing something with my life, we'll travel and do something. And then we cut on this idea of getting a football scholarship, as Alan and myself also very much enjoyed playing football.
You're a bit tasty, aren't you, at the old football?
Back in the day, I was okay, but Al is much better.
And you've done the celebrity football matches, haven't you?
Like I said, we're okay. We're not even that okay. No, we've done a few. I think the last thing we did was. Yeah, Ralph Little shouted at me for not getting back in defence.
Who?
And then Ralph Little, and then Danny Dyer had a go at us for something, and we were like, Yeah. I know. Well, yeah, great. I could have that. Danny Dyer once shouted at me.
Who was the most impressive professional footballer that you played
Actually,
with?
it's probably... Oh, I thought you were going to say from a band.
Or anyone.
Serge from Kasabian.
He's good.
He was really, really, really tasty.
Yeah. He's got the hair.
Yeah, and he had trials with someone, I think, or he used to play like pro or something like that.
Okay.
That's cheating.
Serge is good. And what about footballers, actual footballers?
Oh.
Did he play with any?
Oh, yeah, we did a few like where you play with legends. But this is the thing, I'm so fair weather. I'm from Reading. You can't be from Reading and like, you know, you don't want to be into football. It's just only pain lies that way. So, no, I don't actually know who any of them were. To be honest, you'd have to ask Al. He would.
Okay.
Probably Ian Botham. Is that one?
The cricketer.
Is he?
Ian
That as well, is he? No
yeah. He was actually, I think he played for Scunthorpe, didn't he?
Did he?
He did play a bit of football. Or Rotherham, maybe, yeah. I think he played a bit of professional football, but he was predominantly known for his cricket. But anyway, again, we stray off topic. So you went to America on a football scholarship.
America, yeah.
Which would be a soccer scholarship over there.
A soccer scholarship, yes, quite.
So what happened when you arrived?
You're in a lose-lose, because whenever I talk about that, I either call it soccer, and then they're like, you mean football? And then I go, you're right, football. And they go, you went over there to play American football. No, soccer, you know.
It just saves a bit of time, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, even though that was great, it will definitely make the cut, and your listeners will be very glad of the clearing up of that.
So what happened when you got there?
Oh, we were dreadful, absolutely dreadful.
At football or music?
Yes. Yeah, it turned out 2 gap years weren't nearly enough to have honed our skills. We went over that, and I'm going to blame... I don't usually pick on whole states, but Indiana, it's a very dry state, played ruddy havoc with my slug lungs because the asthma that lay latent for I hadn't been bothered by it for 15 years, just flared up. And meant I couldn't really run much, and running was 90% of my game. The other bit was sort of hoofing the ball and throw-ins. I take a mean throw-in.
Okay, yeah, handy. Handy at set plays.
Yeah, huge. And then Al got shin splints. Indiana, very hard ground.
Right.
Turns out. So
Dry.
By our own teammates, we were given the nicknames Mr. Wheeze and Mr. Glass. And we were sort of outcast after about the second week. So it made for quite a painful 2 years.
And what happened so what was happening musically over there?
Oh, not a lot.
Were you being inspired though by your new environment? Not really?
Not particularly. But what I would say is, although there's a great deluge of alternative indie bands and record labels. Jaguar, I think, is based in Indiana, just in Bloomington, and we were in Indianapolis. That stuff was just starting to happen, but we were aware we'd moved to sort of the Reading of America, having just escaped the Reading of England. And so we kind of were shocked to find those similarities pervade that it was fine. Everyone was very happy, and there was a lot of, it felt a very safe environment as long as you didn't stray out of certain lines, how to dress, how to be. And that's something that informed us. I would say, regardless of music, it was actually what Mr. Serple was getting at, I think, was that life experience. And for myself and Al to go there with dreams of we're gonna play well off and on and off the pitch, if you follow my meaning. And we did neither. And we were just, it felt like I don't want to use the word abysmal, but failures, really, at what we were setting out to accomplish. And it was a crushing blow to the ego. And it's what sort of made us come home. And yeah, I think we struggled for a few years to sort of get over that. And even to the point where then when the band sort of we had that moment in the sun, commercially speaking, it felt like, oh yeah, that's what was supposed to happen. That's, suddenly life makes sense. And then the band also hits troubles as, you stick at anything long enough and it doesn't necessarily go the way you want it to.
Yeah.
So that resilience that I think that we needed, that we found, picking ourselves up after our scholarships going to pot, was is constantly in need, and so we've had to draw on that. And I would say that's one defining characteristic of, I don't know, a life in music, a career, and probably just being human, really.
Resilience.
Yeah.
Yeah. By God, you've got it. And you had to, haven't you? I mean,
yeah, really.
How are you getting on with your? We've got about 5 minutes left on the pod. Is that okay?
I mean, it's fine. At the moment, you do resemble Michael Myers, and I'm thinking of keeping you like that.
Yeah,
there's a haunting quality.
It's a bit
like
late
a mask,
now.
like a death mask, really.
I don't know what this reminds me of, but I've definitely not. Your handsomeness, that's a word, hasn't transferred to the paper. Just to give you a heads up. What we're going to do, the other thing I haven't mentioned yet is that we don't reveal this to the audience until the end.
Good grief.
So when you've done, we'll have to carefully rip it off and put it over there, and then we start on the self-portraits. So let's go to... So when it all started to kick off for you, what was that like, riding that? I mean, we've had lots of conversations about the highs and lows of showbiz, haven't we?
Oh, man.
Because it was almost my rise to radio and your rise in the music world was sort of simultaneously the same, about the same time. Yeah. And also our dips were probably quite similar as well. So we've had lots of conversations about the highs and lows of our moment in the sun, and then the sun disappearing momentarily, and then finding a new place, which we'll get to. But what was the initial excitement like? I mean, like when you're going to places like the Barfly, which I was talking about, where you've got a venue full, and the song's been played all over the radio, and you're thinking, "Here we go, it's happening."
Yeah.
Like, what was that time like for you?
It was shocking. It had no precedent at any other point in our lives. I remember thinking, because up to that point, it had been something like 11 years that myself and Al had been in a band together. And through various different lineups, all we'd ever known was failure. So you get used to not getting there. It's always round the corner. It's the next show. So-and-so from A&R will be there. And then finally the thing you're aiming for begins to sort of happen, and the stars align. And it did feel incredible. It felt absolutely amazing for songs that we'd written in our university dorm, suddenly getting sung back to you. And I mean, this is before it was sort of on a large scale, perhaps. And this is perhaps the most exciting thing, was playing those gigs, those Barflies. And, we were learning our trade because labels at that time were still investing in bands. So we did, I think, 3 national tours to barely anyone, playing like 50 to 100 capacity venues, of which there probably aren't any now, because you don't even... You fill that room, they're losing money. So, it's to the shame of the government not supporting those kind of venues. But we were able to actually learn how to play and be a good band by getting up in front of a few people, getting it wrong, to the point that we were kind of, we knew what we were doing, and to play our own songs, we could do that. And then at that same time, the songs started to get played on, some mighty stations such as Juice. And then people are aware of the songs and they're singing along. And when you notice that happening, and it is those small rooms, a couple of hundred capacity really around that time, that's electric, because we'd never had that ever. You're just, that was electric for us.
I'm getting goosebumps listening to this. It was, because I witnessed it, and it was very exciting. And I was backing you because I really liked you as a person and the band, and I liked the music. I enjoyed it when it popped up on the playlist, because I wasn't in control of the playlist at Juice. But when it popped up, it was like, here's the Hoosiers, and it was always like a happy, joyful moment. So it's great to sort of watch your rise.
Thanks. That said, though, there's a time where I couldn't listen to any of it. So I also never expect people to say that. You know, it's like, I get it. And I appreciate, now I listen to some of it and it feels of its time. It's puppyish. It's got an enthusiasm and exuberance or whatever. I don't always want to listen to that. That was there at a space in time. And I'm sure I'm, proud of most of it. But there's, I don't know. I guess that's how I always feel when people say that. It's like, that's very kind of you to say, but...
And what was did you notice any major changes in your general sort of private life? Because you sort of did dabble in the panel shows. I think you were on Nevermind the Buzzcocks and things like that, were you? So
Twice.
were you? Because you get you get those pop stars that I don't know. Obviously, I saw it a lot. I saw a lot of bands come through the radio station, and some stuck around, and some didn't.
Yeah.
But some people really grasp the sort of opportunities, I guess, that would come their way, and some people would just be like, "No, I'm just doing the music. I'm not interested." Yeah. So did you get a bit caught up in the whole
it's
celeb game?
Yeah, there's. I mean, I remember. So I guess that hints at the whole what fame was like in our, I'd say 16 and a half minutes. I timed it, and it was. It is seductive to have people ultimately treat you differently to other people. Treat you as more, and yeah, that was. Your brain knows it's madness, but the other part of you is like the perks of that are
feels good.
Maybe free hand soap. That maybe waiting in
wow.
Things like that. You gifted. Yeah. These paws. I mean, there's a reason they look like they've never worked a day in their life, and it's not just because they haven't worked a day in their life.
Yeah.
Free hand cream.
I mean, you've been lifting a pencil for the last half an hour.
I know the most.
You must be exhausted.
Can we have a break? Do I have to just keep working? Do I? I'm expected to work.
Hey, you.
Oh, my goodness! I've just realised you look like JD Vance.
It's all wow.
Michael Myers meets JD Vance. This is
Are you ready to wrap
put
up?
down
this
my
bit?
tools.
Yeah. So if you can make sure the audience don't see it.
Okay.
And then carefully
grief.
tear it off.
And then tear it off, yeah. Okay.
Place it on the table next to you, and then we'll do a little reveal.
Okay, so
afterwards, I'm just going to be careful about this bit. You see, is that the audience reaction is everything, and for those people listening and watching on YouTube, you'll see it on YouTube, and listening, you can have a look at our Instagram, The Portrait Guy, to see. But the audience reaction in here is always. Instant. It's a bit like a comedian doing a joke. It either lands or it doesn't. So when you show your art to the audience, you'll know instantly how good or how bad it is. Just so you know. Okay.
You lucky people.
So, because I also think about our relationship in terms of you coming down to the station for interviews and things. So I think it was Barfly, and then. You notice the trajectory as well. It's like the venues get bigger. So it's Concord, and then you go Dome, and then it's Brighton Centre, and it's like that. And then it starts tailing off. So like the second, I think it was the second album, because we did a little walk around, didn't we? Can you remember?
Do you know, I was. Yeah, so
we filmed a little documentary with you
along the pier,
and we played Crazy Golf.
But we were about to play. I think it was it Prism?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
And I think you brought up that the last time we were in Brighton, we played the Brighton Centre, and I remember, I think maybe even that same day, saying to Al, because I didn't have my bearings, I was like, Al, we played there a couple of years ago, and there was a queue. We were people in fancy dress, because that was the tour, and snaking around the block, and it was like, wow, we'd see that. And then it's that reality that at this point in our career, it was that and now a couple of years later, we're playing at the Prism, and you would hit these, it was basically Frost Nixon, if you're wondering what this particular moment of Guy and Irwin-ness was, because I wasn't quite ready, and maybe not even able to I was still perhaps processing where we were and where we found ourselves. And I think there was, I don't know, maybe that took 5 or 6 years, in which time I found a very good therapist, which, I strongly recommend for getting through life. And it made all the difference, to the point where now, sat here, looking into those beautiful eyes that I couldn't even hold a candle to, let alone a 2B pencil, and realising. And now we're in this sort of, I'm jumping ahead to where you want to go to.
No, it's fun.
But just the joy we feel to play Prism, to play, in front of people that want to hear us is, I don't know, it's like, I guess it's what I'm saying, it's that first time where you hear, it might be at 50, 100 people, but when there's a connection and the songs mean something to them as well as you, that's
the best, isn't
It
it?
is the best.
Yeah.
It really is. And we knew that consciously at the time, and we would still love those gigs and give our all. But I think there was something, you're maybe mourning the death of ego or something. I don't know.
Was that part of the therapy process, do you think? Like just processing that rise to fame and...
I think the expectation and also being able to realize, because I think Al and I as well, we knew we couldn't really talk to other people because we realized it was quite a unique journey we'd been on where we felt, oh, we're so fortunate. Like, who gets to actually do the thing that they, as little kids together in a band, like Al and I holding hands for this whole ride of over a decade to finally taste the land of milk and honey. And then, okay, now that's sort of not going to be the rest of your life. You're going to have to find your own way through this industry. You felt like, oh, you don't deserve the right to complain about that, or you don't have that right. And part of me we knew, because we felt so lucky. We're like, who can we moan to about that? It's not just moaning, but it's like just dealing with that thing you always wanted. Well, you can't have that anymore.
Yeah.
And now I'm sort of, I don't know, I look at it through different eyes. Yeah, there's a great quote. It's like, no one walks through the same river twice. You're not the same person, and the river's not the same water, something like that.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
And you find you get a different satisfaction, because I guess a lot of it is just riding that wave, isn't it? It's like, wow, this is amazing. And you kind of get swept up with it.
Well, you tell me, does that chime with you?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, and and I think when it's whatever your thing is, for me it was like, I want to get a full-time radio job, and then and then there's like more goals. I want the biggest show on the station, I want the breakfast show, and then you get the breakfast show, and then you stay on the breakfast show and you interview all the best people, and I had some amazing times around the same time as you having amazing times. And then it went for me, and then I had a similar time of kind of just sitting back and processing all of that and going to therapy and talking about the ego and how that was slightly crushed, but also that part of me that still wants to do that. And so you sort of realign, don't you, with your love and your passion, and you find, I'm probably happier now as a person doing what I'm doing now with the podcast and the radio show and all the rest of it than I was doing radio every day. But I was just so swept away with it, like you. But now it's like, I'm just grateful that I had 13 years talking to the people of Brighton on radio, and I'm doing something different now, and that's just all part of it. I wouldn't want to do that again, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Quite happy with this.
Yeah.
And it feels a bit calmer, and it feels a bit less mad.
Yeah, right. Like you're not trying to hold on to a runaway train.
Yeah. I feel a bit more in control of it rather than...
And maybe part of it as well is seeing other people's journeys, and at points seeing people who want whatever that looks like, that stardom, that fame, that notoriety, and thinking, I'm not sure that would be good for them.
Yeah.
And I start to see that with myself and think, actually, the thing you think you want could potentially be poison to you. And I'm not sure how either of us would have taken that.
Yeah, no, totally. And also I think there's something, I remember, by the way, can you dip your hands in the mug? We need a new... Yeah. We've got to do the self-portrait.
Of course, okay.
Forgot about the art again.
Okay.
Get caught up with the conversation. What is it?
It's my favourite. It's crayon.
Ah, see, as a clap.
Let's hear it for crayon. Woo! Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Quick story about the crayons. That's always been in there as an option, but I never actually had any crayons. And I went to W. Smith the other day and to get some new art pads. And weirdly, I came out, and a guy that had come to the last podcast with Maisie Adam said, have you popped in there for some crayons? And I was like, no, but thanks for reminding me. Because he was like, well, where are the crayons in the last podcast? So I went back and we've got some crayons. So they're just there. We do have to share them. They're just under your thing there. So I would just open them up. They've never been opened before. This is very exciting. Huh? They are Crayola. They're the kind of crayons, I asked about them and said they're the kind of crayons that children can draw on a wall and you can wash them off.
Oh.
Yes, I did. I mentioned it to my favourite sponsor. So this is the self-portrait now, Irwin.
Okay.
So you get to draw yourself? Did you look in the mirror today? Did you check yourself out before you left the house?
I mean, come on, Guy. We both know the answer to that.
Do you want to choose your colours first? Have you got a preference?
Yeah, I'm just going to draw me and my aura.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's funny when we had Nick Helm on, it was sort of, he said, I don't actually know what I look like. I haven't looked in the mirror for so long. But it was quite a good likeness, as you can see from behind you.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go just... I might go orange, actually.
Wait, and are we restricted to one?
No, you can have as many as you like.
Okay.
But I'm going to go with orange. So you're just drawing yourself now.
Yeah. I was thinking about this, and I'm just trying to imagine a King Edward potato, because from memory, just nod along. That's roughly the same skull shape, right? King Edward potato, like it's rolled on the barbershop floor. It's got some, bit of grey, bit of brown. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
the audience nods in
approval. That was a yes. That was... Jersey Royal, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
So I think, so going back to that, so I think when we did the walk around the pier, I think there was some controversy, shall we say, around the second album, I think. So is it true to say that you felt there was a passing of the ways with the record company because that you didn't feel like they'd promoted your back to you enough?
I mean, there are a lot of reasons, but the main thing being that I just say we took too long to make the record. We actually abandoned. We'd recorded half an album of like these electro pop tracks that were the product of co-writes with people like Rick Knowles and Elliot Kennedy, people who'd written with like Take That and Lana Del Rey eventually, but this time Belinda Carlisle and all these people who've written some great songs. Didn't feel like us anymore. And I know Al, the drummer, actually... I mean, my kind of losing myself came a little bit later, I think, after the second album. And Al really struggled with this idea that the songwriting was being wrestled away from us to be shared with other people. Okay. I think that's how he defined a lot of his self-worth. And I know he wouldn't mind me saying that. And if he would, tough shit. Said it now.
And so there was a passing of the ways, and then there was a bit of a... What would you call that period?
Ooh, with the label, there was just, you were lost in the wilderness. I had this picture at the time, and it's always stuck with me. It's picture this, Guy. Okay, it's 2007. You win a golden Wonka ticket, and the bus pulls up. You climb on. Oh, hey, there's Amy Winehouse. Coldplay in the back seats. Those guys, obviously, they're the naughty ones. And you're on there, there's Chico. You're having a right laugh. Lily Allen's there giving it some of this. It's great. It's the noughties. Everyone's having fun. And you're like on your way to the Emerald City, if you'll allow me to mix my metaphors. And then, bang, suddenly the bus stops. And Danny from the script won't even make eye contact with you as you are forcibly ejected. And you're like, your bags are thrown out, you're out, and suddenly it's like the start of Rango, and you're just lost in the desert, and the bus just speeds away, and then you don't know what to do because you're like, well, I don't know. I'm like in my 30s, and it's a long way back home, but then I think where we were heading was somewhere over that way, and that's sort of what pretty much the rest of our life has looked like. Yeah, you're sort of finding your own way, and. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse, but I think partly through things like social media have been helpful to abandon our position to try and remind people that we're not dead. Yeah, absolutely,
useful. And I think that's been great because there's a lot of, there's, as the On the Beach thing recently, Owen kindly got me some tickets for the Hoosiers on the beach, which was just a lovely day I spent with my son watching bands that he grew up with. So there's Hoosiers, obviously one, and we loved watching you jumping around on stage. Razorlight were there, the Cribs, Kaiser Chiefs. It was just a brilliant day and being reminded of all these brilliant songs, That was just... And all of you, even Razorlight, looking like you really enjoyed it. Even Johnny from Razorlight looked like he was having fun. He was smiling more now than he was back then.
He was tolerating it.
But my point is that social media I think has kind of highlighted the fact that these bands aren't dead, but also that you're all still great bands, and there's an audience for it. And I was reminded of, obviously you had the lull and you went into more of a independent, we're going to look after ourselves DIY mode. Is that fair to say?
Yes, we were sort of just trying various models of how to get our music out there, and not having much joy. We were also more musically inventive perhaps in this period, and I don't think it necessarily worked. There are moments on the third and fourth record that have something about it, but at the end of that we felt a little burnt out. We still loved the gigs, we still enjoyed playing, but it felt like our career was just flying, like that scene in what's that film with Shepherd's Tone, the Dunkirk, and we were just slowly heading without any fuel into like the White Cliffs of Dover, and that's sort of, we were just enjoying it for what it was. And it wasn't until COVID hit and we realized, we might even lose that I don't know, the value of things. I guess that's one of the pluses of sort of losing what you've got, is realizing the value. And it was, I don't know, maybe then when the lights came back on and you think, I don't want to leave this. Actually, I miss so much. I miss this playing, this being together.
Yeah.
And it was actually, then we got some advice from Craig Logan, who signed us
Bros.
Yes, from Bros, based from Bros. And he signed us to Sony RCA. We were one of his first signings. And he gave us, thankfully, the time of day, which was wonderful of him. But we just felt like it was over. No one wanted to know anymore. And, that was kind of it. We'd had our time and it was just petering out. And Craig was like, I think you need to make an album, remind people of what you do, who you are. And it was just me and Al at this stage, and we'd always relied on someone more technically proficient in the band. And what else were we going to do? It was lockdown. So we threw ourselves into it, and we came up with the fifth album, which came out a couple of years ago. And it did very little, which is why you haven't heard of it, and neither of the people listening really. But for us, it just set us aflame again. We feel so proud of that album, and we just had so much fun making it. And interestingly, when we're in the studio, this is very rare, I think, with any sort of writing, there were no reference points. It was like we knew we wanted to unashamedly just capture the joy that was in the Hoosiers sort of all along, but maybe we tried pushing it into more melancholy or slightly more, vaguely more alternative moments. But we just kind of owned the pop, the exuberance, that kind of, dare I say, youthful playfulness. And it was just a joy. And that gave us such new motivation. We found new management, new booking agent, and then we played Glastonbury that year.
Which was amazing, because you were up against Paul McCartney, weren't you?
I mean, who?
I know. And so a bit of backstory to this, because I was at that one. I was working in the cabaret area, doing some interviews with comedians and stuff, which was huge fun. And I think it was the Saturday you played. Paul McCartney was playing on the Saturday. I went to bed Friday night feeling a bit ill, and I woke up on Saturday morning, realised I had COVID. And the protocol at Glastonbury that year was, if you have COVID, you have to spend the rest of the weekend in your tent, right? Which obviously a lot of people ignored, but I'm a good boy. And I did that. So not only did I miss...
Do you not think they were just having you on?
There was obviously other people going out, it's spreading like wildfire. But the point was, I felt terrible, and I was only probably 15-minute walk from the Pyramid stage to see Macca.
No, we were on the Avalon.
I was about to say, and a bit longer to the Avalon. But I missed the whole lot. But what was so impressive from your point of view was, I mean, Paul McCartney, need I say more, on the Pyramid stage, banging out all the... Not everyone's cup of tea. There's one audience member there. Made very clear.
Wow.
But I love the Beatles, and I'd never seen a Beatle perform, and so that was kind of the main reason for going, as well as maybe catching the last couple of songs of the Hoosiers. Anyway, I missed a whole lot, but what was so impressive was that you drew... One of my happiest moments at Glastonbury was coming back when I felt better, coming back to Brighton and reliving it all, and going on Instagram and looking at the Hoosiers Instagram and just seeing the crowd there.
Yeah.
And your joy at seeing that crowd there and going, yeah, there's a Beatle playing in the field next door, but look at us. And that seemed like, for me, that was the moment. It was like, who needs a bloody record company? Like, this is the Hoosiers doing their things their own way, with a crowd that was really excited to see you, that knew the songs. I mean, that must have been...
Can I let you into a little secret there, though? And I don't mean to taint that wonderful memory, because that's better. I like your one.
But what was that actually like?
I've never gone... Like, put yourself in my shoes. Like, you walk out and you are shocked because it's headlining on Saturday night, and all I could think of is... What are you doing here? Why are you here? You're missing Sir Paul. Like, I don't know. I couldn't... There was that little bit, but I was obviously incredibly grateful. But that was still at the back burner of like, okay, wow. And it was fantastic. And we hadn't played, 12 years or something earlier we'd played. So it was there's a bit of magic around that gig for sure. And it's more as well. There is that little thing, and I guess it was the joy of telling other people because they'd actually heard of a festival we were playing at, which was, broke with tradition from recent times. But yes, since then we've just been, I don't know, it feels like we've just got the joy. And every gig we've had our busiest summer in over 10 years. Just playing so many festivals, and it's been...
That's amazing. And you've got a 6th album coming out.
We've just finished the 6th record. It's done. It's we will be. I can say actually, we will be releasing our first single in October. Yeah.
Whoa!
Thank you. Oh yeah.
An exclusive.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
There. This podcast will go out in November, so it's a bit of a shame. But no, I'm joking. That's amazing. That's so good. What was clear about On the Beach, when you performed on the beach, this is the thing we had recently back in August. It was a series of weekends with bands, and what was clear was, and we were talking about this in the restaurant, was that it was a homecoming gig for you, and it felt a bit special by the sounds of it, and you were seeing people on the school run in the audience, because Irwin's a father of 2, got 2 little ones, haven't you? And you live in Brighton now. So did that feel quite special doing that? Because you haven't played in Brighton for ages, it feels like. It was,
I don't know. I try not to take it personally, but since moving, we've always managed to play a gig, I swear, in Brighton, like every year when I didn't live here. Like every year. And then the moment I move here, no gig for 5 years. So that, and to be honest, it was a very special one. So there's no complaints. It was really, a real joy. And just, the things, when I did see people, I recognised it slightly. I remember fudging the words to Pink Pony Club as a result. It was, I don't know, it was just, it's a beautiful location as well. And you're sort of wrestling with the weather, because that's a huge thing. Because I'll be honest, I think it's possibly one of the worst places you could put a festival on for an audience as well, right? Because your legs are shot by the end.
On pebbles.
Yeah. And then you've got, if there is a whiff of wind, suddenly your sound is like in, Patcham.
Well, I think there had to be people had to be evacuated for the Human League gig because there was a sudden downpour and there was worries that people were going to get electrocuted. Yeah, so people had to.
Why were they going to get electrocuted?
Well, I don't know. I think it was like a big story in the Argus, and it wasn't. It was a puddle. It was a puddle. Yeah, it was. I think it was a puddle, and the local newspaper jumped on it and said, everyone had to be evacuated. But the point is, it's like, you're open to the elements, aren't you? But we were talking in the restaurant about that culture in Brighton, which was, Fatboy Slim's fault, obviously, back in 2002 when he decided to have a little barbecue on the beach and half of London came down. And then ever since then, it's been a bit more ticketed and, organised. But that looked really special, and it was great. I haven't seen you live for a long time. You never put me on your guest list. And but you got me and my son just had a great time, and my son was like, "Oh, I love these songs," and we loved watching you perform. You're quite physical on stage still.
Yeah.
Make me sound like
don't get too used
it's not
to
like
it.
it's not made it sound like Mick Jagger then. Shouldn't it be sat down at the age of 76?
You know, I wouldn't be anti a sit down at some point. We've been playing some gigs that are like 90 minutes long, and it's like, you've got the wrong band. You know, that's a Springsteenian game, and you know, he can keep that title because 90 minutes. I'm also a bit like, I don't know. I'm just like, does anyone want a 90-minute gig? Not a Hoosiers gig. Not a Hoosiers gig. You don't.
I'm okay with an hour.
Yeah. An hour is.
I'm okay with an hour.
Great. That's great.
I'll tell you what was interesting today. We, my son and I, very luckily got tickets to see Gorillaz.
Oh yeah.
This week in London, thanks to my girlfriend in the audience. And but what was funny was my son said, "Are we standing?" And I was thinking, he's going to want to stand. You know, he's 22 years old. He's going to want to be in the mosh pit. So he says, "Are we standing?" And I said, "No, we're seated." He said, "Oh, thank God for that."
Oh, wow.
It's like, mate, you're 22. I'm 55. I was standing on Pebbles watching Kaiser Chiefs for an hour and a half. I had to call in sick the next day at work because I couldn't walk.
Tell me you
I didn't. But the point was, it was actually preferable. Me and my son, my 22-year-old son, was like, it was actually preferable to sit down and watch the Gorillaz. It was just, rather than, because I think also I'm getting at the age of being in a standing audience where I get a bit frustrated with people around me. I don't drink anymore, so I kind of, I'm very sort of aware of what's happening around me, get very annoyed and irritated by people. So actually sitting down and watching a gig was good. And we sort of did that with the Hoosiers as well, because you very kindly gave us VIP. So we're on the balcony.
I asked them not to.
But we were watching you prancing around on stage, looking like you were having the time of your life, probably more so than back in the day.
Honestly, it's certain things we've been able to really work on the show, and we have there's a book that we swear by called Black Box Thinking by Matthew Said, and
What's that
mention
about?
it.
Never heard of it.
Well,
I'm interested though.
Yeah, it's about reframing failure, ultimately. So it compares various industries, often one that will hide from owning up to mistakes and analysing what went wrong, like, I don't know, politics, and then, say, taking something like aviation as a prime candidate where you've got the box. And what's happened as a result of having literally the invention of a black box, so you can understand what went wrong and why. Then crashes, accidents. I mean, the stats are unreal in that how they've declined and how the safety improvements that have been made as a result. And I think it's something to take with you in life, in what we do with the band. It's to not shy away from those difficult questions of like, so we'll come off stage and we'll enthuse about it. Enthusia. Actually, that's the band name we should have gone with. About it. And then we'll also be like, okay, actually, what went wrong? What needs work? I think we're struggling with this bit. This wasn't too slick. Makes it sound like a right laugh. But we're all come at it from a point of wanting to make the show the best it can be. And that's between myself, Al, and our two long-standing, embittered session players, Paul and Leighton. And everyone kind of shares in this because we want it to get to the right place.
Yeah.
Truth is, we always wanted it to get to the right place. But when we were younger, we couldn't take it. We couldn't handle those kind of conversations because the ego was too brittle and we would have felt attacked. And so there is something about being a bit older, feeling like, the wonder of aging so disgracefully on a stage, and thinking certain things like, wouldn't it be great to not have to be chained to the guitar every song? So the freedom I have to then dance around, mainly because I saw this incredible Brighton band called Sock, and watching this character, you've probably not heard of them, but that's
my band, by the way.
Vince Venus. But there's the power, right? The freedom to strut around and actually let the music take you somewhere else and have moments and interact with the band. And so what we say, we always have a hug before we go on stage. And that's one of the things we always do, to look in each other's eyes, just let each other know we're there for them, we support them, and we're like, surprise me. That's the thing. And usually, sometimes we do that with wrong notes, by starting the wrong song in the wrong place, or just like by dancing like a bit of a twat.
I like that ritual. I saw the other day on Instagram, Fatboy Slim played Pride. I didn't know this. Apparently he does it for every gig, but just before Norman goes on stage, he gets a slap round the face from his manager. His manager literally slaps him around the face.
How hard are we talking?
Pretty hard. I mean, you could hear it on Instagram amongst a big crowd. There's a proper slap, and then he walks on stage barefoot, and that's his little ritual. So I'm glad you've got one that's less physical.
Yeah.
That's good. So how are you getting on with your self-portrait? Because we're kind of coming towards the end. Yep.
It's a thing.
I think we're both going to... Yeah, the audience will decide. I sort of want to finish by saying... you're saying in the restaurant about a time when you thought I might have to kind of supplement this with an actual job. Thankfully, so far, touch wood, you haven't had to do that. And you said I haven't got any transferable skills.
Is this like you sending my CV out over the podcast? But if anyone does know of anything...
But my question was you clearly want to do this for the rest of your life. So is there a mixture of... Because amongst all this, I've got to forget you're a musician. So is there's still that drive to be creative and write songs and be in the studio and do all that, but also to play the songs in front of the audience. Is that something... Because going back to Norman, when I asked him this question about DJing, he's now 62, I think, Norman. And he said he'd like to die on stage. Wow. He can't imagine doing anything else. He's never going to retire. He wants to DJ and drop dead on stage, which would be some gig, wouldn't it? I mean, it would get it would go viral on Instagram for a start. But I mean, my question is,
okay,
like, do you want to do this for the rest of your life?
I know this is like a politician's answer. I know Al, the drummer, his wish for me is that I also drop dead on stage because of the revenue alone based on streams from that Insta post or whatever, or that would set him up.
He'd do well out of it
for the rest of his miserable little life. So he's kind of chomping at the bit for that to happen. So I don't know if I want to give him that satisfaction as a result. But the truth is, right, for any of us, what are we to get to do a job where you feel it involves people and it's just to do it with people you love. That's that counts for so much. So we've got no intention of stopping, and we just hope we keep getting booked. I mean, Al and I, we wrote a comedy musical a few years ago.
I came to see it.
You did, didn't you? Yeah.
Came to see one of the previews before you went to Edinburgh.
That's right, and it was not good, but we really enjoyed it. And by the end of Edinburgh, this is the trouble with Edinburgh, right? We went up and it was 2-star. By the time we came back after doing it a month, it was like 2.5. So kind of worth it. And we'd maybe like to build on that one day. But partly it's being creative and just enjoying what you do.
And making a living out of it.
Yeah, if you can, it helps.
Yeah. Because you're doing it on yourself. You were talking in the restaurant about your spectacular outfits. If you haven't seen them, have a look on Instagram. But it's all sort of like you're putting that money in yourself, aren't you?
Yeah.
And then, so the revenue from the gigs is going back into the band, and it's kind of working like that.
It has to. It's not... Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be there otherwise. And I guess it's like taking a spin at the roulette table and you're betting on yourself. I don't know how gambling works, but that kind of thing. Yeah. So we are like... We want it to look and sound the best it possibly can be. So... Yeah, kind of long may it continue. And I don't know how or if it will, but I sort of feel like it's going to be okay, come what may.
I think it's going to be okay, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the journey. I'm not sure if your art's going to be okay, and this is what we're about to find out. So we're going to reveal to the audience the portraits of each other. But do you want to go first and show?
No, but I will, okay.
Oh! Okay. Interesting reaction. I'd say that was largely positive. So that and this is. See what I mean by the audience interaction, like the yeah. It's a really long chin.
I mean, I was going to say, look, art shouldn't be competitive, but I feel like it is.
Yeah, I feel like
And you've won.
You might have won.
It's great.
Yeah, it's Jimmy Hill, and I have a habit of doing that. I think
Jimmy Hill.
Well, I draw the face first, and then I do the mouth too high. I know, but sorry, Irwin.
Yeah, no, I mean, I got the proportions all wrong as well. I went skull first.
You've like where's my jawline, my cheekbones?
I know. You've got a great jawline. I tried to give you a solid square jawline, and now it just looks shapeless and formless under the beardy bits, and that's the J.D. Vance thing, and the eyeless, pupilless, retinaless. That's your.
You know when they're sort of pushing Elvis out to do those shows in Las Vegas, but bless him, when he was so big he could barely balance on the piano stool. That looks like my Elvis stage, where I'm a little bit podgy in the face, dead behind the eyes. But I have to say, from the audience reaction, I think if it is a competition, I think you've won.
No, come on.
Yeah.
I won't hear of it.
God, it has suddenly become... So that's that. So should we do the self-portrait now?
Yeah, but can I mention, I actually thought about shaving earlier, and then I was like, no, because I wanted to dick you over by making it harder to draw. And then you sprung self-portraiture at me. And,
yeah. And also, I gave you extra stubble because I gave you an extra chin, didn't I? So let's do the self-portraits.
Well, you go first.
Shall I go first this time?
Yeah, I think you should.
That's my self-portrait.
Yeah. Touch of the Connery.
I do look about 76 there, but that's fine. I've used reds, oranges, yellows, and I look as normal. I look a bit beaten and battered by life.
It's been a warm Brighton summer. You don't have a touch of the Connery.
I haven't been. Yeah, touch of the Connery. Okay, so that drew a fairly positive.
Yeah. I carried on with the beach theme, and I'm one of those caricature artists.
Oh, okay. Yes. I like that.
I was drawn by a nephew who was about 7, and my wife's favourite thing was the forehead wrinkles he didn't neglect to include.
I love the eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, you wouldn't look at that without you holding it. You wouldn't look at that and think, oh, that's Irwin Sparkes from the Hoosiers.
Look, a two-headed beast right now.
But it's got character and it's got depth, and we will accept that. We have to at this stage, Irwin.
Okay.
If you could kindly sign it afterwards as well, that would be great, and then I'll auction them off to charity. It's been thanks. Yeah, I like charity. I love charity, even if Irwin doesn't. It's been an absolute delight. I was really looking forward to this podcast because just hanging out with a mate. You know, we've had dinner together. It's been like one of our dates.
It has, hasn't it? With dates for how many?
Yeah, and
so many.
People have come along to watch, and it's been lovely to see you on stage recently. Do come back to Brighton, even though you live here. I will. And do a show when next time you do a tour, because we'll all come, won't we? We'll all come. We'll all be there, and
we will.
It's high time. It's high time. We need more Hoosiers in our lives, and I've no doubt you'll do this for the rest of your life. And when you do drop dead on stage, it will be a sad day, but at least Al will be rich. Yeah. I hope that offers some relief to everyone. Yeah. Let's give it up for Irwin Sparkes. Bless you. Thank you.
Thanks, Guy.
Thank you to our sponsors, Dental Health Spa, Indian Summer Restaurant, number 124 Guest House Hotel, and the Grand Hotel.